before I'm even 20. Well, you do have 3 other choices, he stated. Death, death and death. Yes, what wonderful choices. I shot him a glare. I will never survive as a spy or a drug runner, and I think we both know that. That leaves me with only 2 options, marriage or death. So yes, I'm pretty sure I'm being forced into this, as you could easily just let me go. Who am I to you as some all-powerful crime lord, other than an ordinary 19-year-old girl? You never shut up, do you? If I hear one more word I will shoot you in the head and leave you right here to bleed out, he said simply. Then I can find someone else who will actually appreciate my offer. You're insane, I muttered. So I've been told, he remarked. Now go and pack a bag. I want us to be out of here before sunrise. And so my descent into hell began. 3. 4. As Nikolai led me out of my apartment and to his car, a matte black Lamborghini nearly as hot as him, my gaze lifted to the dark early morning sky. The weather was calm, without a breath of wind in the air, the exact opposite the storm raging inside of my mind. Since it was around 3 in the morning, there was not a single person in sight, but I'm sure that if there was, the 2 of us might have appeared to be a couple. But no, the large hand clamped around my arm was not at all endearing. He was simply ensuring that I didn't try to run away. It was a little insulting that he thought I was foolish enough to try such a thing, but oh well. I'd been underestimated by men all my life, and their idiocy only motivated me to grow stronger. So tell me, Rosalie, why are you running from your father? Asked Nikolai after we drove in silence for a few minutes. Why did he send those men to return you to him? I find it a little suspicious. It's complicated, I sighed. Tell me, he insisted. My father was abusive and controlling, and I couldn't take it anymore, so I left as soon as I turned 18. He's insane, and in his eyes the fact that I ran away was a huge betrayal. He will stop at nothing to get me back, I explained. My words were slightly rushed as it felt odd speaking them aloud. The only person who knew of my traumatic childhood was Claire. And what about your mother? He questioned. Where was she? She died when I was 2. I answered. She was his mistress, and he hated the fact that she chose to have me after he got her pregnant. After she died, I was raised as an outcast in his household, but still, I could never leave. Did he ever physically hurt you? He inquired, growing visibly upset. A couple of times, yeah. I winced at the memory, but there was mostly just a lot of hatred sent my way. He was upset because I was born, you see. Your father is a pathetic excuse of a man. Nikolai's knuckles were white against the steering wheel. Whoever hurts their own blood does not deserve family at all. I don't consider him a relative, I shrugged. Honestly, I feel like I've never had a father at all, just a prison warden. Why are you asking me all of this, by the way? So I can know exactly why I should kill him, he said simply. You will be my wife, and because of that I must ensure your safety. I will uphold my end of the contract and keep you under my protection, which means that I will kill anyone who has, or tries to cause you harm. I don't understand how you speak so causally of murder. I sent him an odd look. But I do not want my father dead. Not yet anyway. I just need to be safe from him. Then so it shall be, he nodded. As long as you fulfill the contract and obey me. When are we supposed to get married? A frown crept into my face at the thought. In exactly a month from now, he replied. I thought you'd say tomorrow or something. I let out a sigh of relief. Why the wait? Because before making this official, I want to make sure that we are compatible, he explained. I want to ensure that I made the correct decision by choosing you to give me an heir. If I don't like you after day 30, then you will just have to become a drug runner instead of my bride. Worry set in fast. There were always terms and conditions to everything, including this arranged marriage apparently. I thought I'd just have to be legally married to him and push out a baby when the time comes, but no. I still had to go through an elimination process. Am I going to have competition? Are there other girls that you can choose from too? I inquired. No. He looked annoyed at my many questions, but I was not about to shut up. I needed answers. What am I going to do at your house from now on? I surveyed his bulky, extremely muscular form as he drove. His nose and jawline were sharp, almost as if they were carved from marble, and his dark hair held a slight curl. The man reminded me of a stereotypical Victorian-era knight in a film, only now here he was, a modern-day villain. Anything you want as long as it doesn't put you in danger. College, shopping every day, or whatever else it is that women enjoy. It's your choice. Our eyes met and I quickly looked away. You can come and go as you please as long as you are always accompanied by one of my people. You'll only be allowed to be completely alone once you've earned my trust. And I absolutely have to live with you? I asked. I can't just continue staying at my apartment and pay you a visit when it's time for me to get pregnant or something? You are going to be my wife, so you must act like one. He was definitely annoyed by now. The man was clearly not fond of someone actually questioning him. I am marrying you not out of lust or love, but simply because you are the ideal woman to give me an heir and you'll look good on my arm. To my friends and foes, I want you to appear to be the perfect wife, not just some girl I picked up off the street. So yes, you need to stay with me. That is what a wife does. She lives with her husband. Well, technically you didn't just pick me up off the street, I pointed out. You stalked me for weeks at the cafe where I work. I didn't come there for you at first. He responded in a slightly defensive manner. My office was too quiet and I needed somewhere with a busy atmosphere so I could work. Then I saw you and did some research. You know the rest, creep. I scoffed. There are much worse people in the world. He glared at me. Some of the men I work with would have just had their way with you and then killed you without a second thought. Others would have gone and sold you as a whore. All I was going to do was propose my offer to you in a nice, gentlemanly way. I just couldn't think of how, so I put it off for a bit. But then I saw you getting attacked by those men and obviously I killed them. After you became a witness, it was either take you with me or kill you too. I need a wife and you need protection. It's an excellent deal. Is that your house? I gasped as the car drove through two enormous wrought iron gates once they'd opened. Further ahead I could see an enormous Victorian building. The grounds around it were so vast that just reaching the mansion took a good few minutes. Yes. He replied nonchalantly. The better one is back home in Russia, in my opinion, but this one is all right. It's not terrible. Wait, so you're like a billionaire? I stared at him with wide eyes. I thought you were just rich. Yes, he said once more, now with a slight smirk at my obvious amazement. How? I asked. What do you do? Oh, I'm a drug trafficker. That's one of the ways I made my fortune, he answered. I'm also the leader of the Chekhov crime family, and that definitely has its perks. So you're rich because you're in the mafia? I frowned. Why isn't everyone a criminal then? Because regular people are not smart enough for such a thing. It is easy to commit petty crimes, but to establish and lead an organization and business like mine, well, that's something else entirely, replied Nikolai. There are a few other crime families that make up the Russian mafia, but mine is the largest and most powerful. It was not an easy task to get to that rank. I thought you said your family is dead? I wondered. My blood family, yes, although I do have a few cousins, he explained. When you join the mafia, you become part of whatever crime family you decide to pledge allegiance to. Once a new member has proven their loyalty, we are all prepared to die for them. That is how it is. We look after our own because we cannot rely on anyone else to look out for us. And how does one prove their loyalty? You have to be successful in killing an enemy of the family. Once you've learned to use a weapon, you will be required to do the same, he said casually. Now come, princess, I think it's time I show you your new home. 4. 5. Touch me again and I will castrate you with a rusty spoon, I threatened. Geez lady, I just thought you were going to run away. The blonde man raised his hands up in surrender. Why does everyone keep assuming that? I sighed in exasperation. I'm not an idiot. When put in a difficult situation, your brain generally screams at you to run. That is why I thought you would, he sheepishly explained. Anyway, let's not keep Nikolai waiting. Come on. Who are you? I asked as he led me down a long hallway. My name is Ilya Petrov, I'm Nikolai's cousin and also his underboss, he answered. Nice to meet you, I replied, although I didn't smile. I'm sure you know who I am. Rosalie Harrington, 19, Capricorn, graduated from Bose Academy 2 years ago, daughter of Lysander Harrington and Marisol Queen. He shrugged. Yeah, I know you. I was the one who researched you for Nikolai. That is really creepy. I shook my head. You people are all crazy, maybe. He let out a soft laugh. Who knows, although we all know about Nick, he's definitely deranged, but in good way. I don't think there's a good type of deranged, I said. Oh, you'd be surprised. We came to a stop outside a large wooden door. We're here. This is Nikolai's office. Just open the door, try not to get yourself killed. Don't annoy him too much. You're actually all right, and I think you could be good for him, so it would be best if you live. Ah, thanks, I said awkwardly. After arriving at Nikolai's estate at 3 in the morning, I was led straight to the room where I'd be staying from now on, without being given a tour of the house. My new room was stunning, Victorian-themed and almost screaming wealth and luxury. It was every girl's dream, and yet I found myself unable to sleep, feeling awfully alone in the enormous bed. I lacked the comfort of familiarity, and this place held not a trace of it. From what little I managed to see of the mansion as Ilya led me through it, I could tell that the estate was massive. One glance out of a window showed me that the lush green grounds stretched out for as far as my eyes could see. The Chekhov estate was the epitome of luxury, as was its owner. Both radiated wealth and power, with a fat amount of danger tossed in the mix too. I took a deep breath in a failed attempt to calm my racing heart, before pushing the door open and entering the office. Good morning, Rosalie, boomed Nikolai's deep, heavily accented voice. I trust you slept well. He sat behind a desk at the end of the room, dressed in his usual fitted suit. Hey, I said with a small, forced smile. Today he stood up and paced the room with his hands clasped behind his back. I think it's time you get a tour of the estate. This will be your home from now on, and I want you to be comfortable here. That sounds good, I replied. I'm going to begin teaching you to fight tomorrow, he decided. You will need to know how to protect yourself if you are my wife. How? I asked. Like martial arts or something, just regular hand-to-hand combat. You'll be fine as long as you are able to escape the hold of someone my size, he explained. After that you will learn to handle weapons, so I can, prove my loyalty. I gulped. To preserve my sanity, I'd been trying not to think of the fact that the man was planning on forcing me to kill someone in order to be accepted by his family. Yes. He nodded. I think you will be good with knives. Everyone has a weapon that suits them best, but since you greatly lack both height and size, I think a simple switchblade will be perfect for you. I have a few of those, I said. I needed something to protect myself with, but I couldn't get a gun, so I just got a bunch of knives. But do you know how to properly use them? He raised an eyebrow. How hard can it be to just stab someone? I frowned. Oh, you'd be surprised. A hint of a smile crept onto his face. If you move incorrectly or too fast, you could easily snap your own wrist. By stabbing your victim in the wrong place, they could be left virtually uninjured and kill you. There is an art behind murder. There is something seriously wrong with you, I said. The man wore the scent of death like perfume. I could tell that murder was something he enjoyed, and even the thought was extremely unnerving. Yes. I am not like the ordinary man, he agreed. It is why I am so successful. You can be too, once you become more open-minded. Open-minded, once you stop being so scared of everything. Scared? You tremble at the mere mention of my work, of my organization. You get pale whenever I come too close to you. As he spoke, Nikolai took a few menacing steps towards me. The only thing behind me was the